Okay, once again we're down at the Olympia Health and Fitness. We're doing something completely different today. We've had quite a few questions regarding me, and what the people are asking me is that they want to know if who I am. So we've got a very special young man coming in to ask me a few questions today. I must mention that we are sponsored by the Olympia Wellbeing Academy, and that's our charity which we run, which is fighting the good fight against antisocial behavior. Okay, so that's what we're here today. It's a very special event, so we're just going to get me in the hot seat, and they're going to fire a few questions. We've took a poll, and some of the people have, the best questions we've picked off. I think we've got 4 or 5 questions what people want to know about me. So I'll introduce Zaki, one of the gym members, and he's gonna fire a few questions at me. So yeah, I'm in the hot seat. Fire away.
Let's go, Trevor. Are you ready?
As ready as I ever will be. Yes.
I love that. So, question 1 for the IBPF Pro.
IFBB Pro.
Retired
Pro. IFBB Pro.
Yes. So what motivated you to pursue bodybuilding professionally?
Okay. Well, I mean, we're going to have to go all the way back, because I started sport from a very, very young age.
Yeah.
I was really good at sports.
Yeah.
Academically, I was terrible. Back in those days, I'm not telling you my age.
No, we don't need to know that, Trevor.
I know, but I'm in my 50s, to be honest. I know I look young.
Yeah.
People can't never get my age, but I'm saying I think I look young. But anyway, but back in the days when I was at school, there was no such thing as dyslexia.
Yeah.
So academically, I was struggling. I've got 6 sisters, and my oldest sister academically was a genius.
Yeah.
She did really, really well. She was, went to university and studied as a solicitor, and, all my little sister, she's a psychologist. They're all professional people, all went to uni and studied really well, all of them, But me, as the boy, was, really struggling, academically, and my father used to say I was being lazy, because we didn't understand it, and the teachers as well.
Yeah.
They didn't understand that I had something called dyslexia. Even when writing numbers down, I was writing numbers down the wrong way. So it was crazy at the time, and everyone just thought I was doing it on purpose, but unfortunately, no, I was doing it the way I saw it. So, but put me on a football field, put me on a running track, put me in a boxing, anything to do with sports, I would always excel, and that's where it all started. So to be the bottom of the class in school,
Yeah.
and everyone kind of like making fun of me, but put me on any kind of sports. For an example, I remember at school when we did a sports day, they said who's going to run the 100 meters. Everyone picked Trevor Crouch. Who's going to run the 200 meters? Trevor Crouch. Who's going to run the 400 meters? Trevor. Who's going to do the high truck? So before everyone had nominated me, to do everything.
Yeah.
Because I was the best at everything. I was really good at sports. So that was it. So when moving on a little bit, in my sporting career, I started running. For Sheffield. I was sprinting and doing really well. I got to the championships. I think when all
The regional.
the regional championships, and I remember getting second in the city finals.
Impressive.
So and I never trained. I never trained at all. I never ever trained. I just turned up and beat all these guys with the fancy tracksuits, and I just turned up. We've come from a poor family, a hard-working Caribbean family, and I just turned up and I just did really well.
God's gift, I gotta say that.
But yeah, of course, I would call that. Yeah, I
Yeah.
would say that. And you know, I I remember that. I remember I was good at sprinting, but I also had a passion of. I used to love boxing. Me and my father
Yeah.
used to sit there and listen to watch boxing on the TV on ITV back in those days, and also on the radios when the big fights were taking place. And I said I want to do this. So anyway, my mom objected of it. She didn't
Yeah.
want me to do no boxing. She said no, no, no boxing. But I remember giving my father took me to the boxing gym when I was about 8 or 9 years old, and I started boxing, and it was something what I really enjoyed. I could punch people and hurt them, and I wouldn't get in trouble. But also it was a discipline of it all. We had to run.
Yeah.
We had to make weight. We had to train 4 days a week.
So you're saying that you've learned a lot during the journey of bodybuilding, doing all the sports, more than what you could have learned academically.
100%, because from boxing, I boxed for up to like being late teens, early 20s, and then I kind of fell out of love of boxing. I did it for I got over 10 years, and when you're young, 10 years is a lifetime.
Yeah.
I felt like I'd always been on a diet, always had to train, and all my friends were going out. They was going out. They was having fun, and I was going for a run. And I thought, hang on a minute, I wanted some of this going out, night clubbing, and meeting young ladies, and I wanted to do this as well. So I stopped all sport for about a year. I finished boxing. I did nothing. I even tried beer. I tried a pint of beer and I spit it out. It was horrible.
Yeah.
People tried to give me a cigarette. I didn't want to smoke it because I didn't like the smell of it. They tried to come around me with drugs, but that didn't interest me as well. I was a bit boring, to be honest, because I've had that lifestyle of always being in the gym from being a young boy. So these things didn't really, excite me. So I remember when we was out one day and, all my friends had started lifting weights. They know who they are. I won't mention their names. There was an Asian guy, and one of them is a friend of mine called Hugh Bailey. He was a old friend of mine from my mother's road, and I remember these guys all was at arms and chest. That's all they was training, arms and chest.
Yeah.
And all the girls was coming and feeling their arms and their chest, and I thought, well, I don't mind having a little bit of this. So anyway, cut a long story short, they said come down to the gym. So I went down to the local gym round the corner. It was like a multi gym, and we did some workout. We did a little workout there, and they smoked me. They absolutely crucified me. It was.
In what way?
I was so weak.
Okay.
When you first walk
Yeah.
into a gym and I couldn't believe how weak I was, but I've got that kind of personality where if you beat me, I have to beat you back.
Yeah.
I'm really competitive. So within a few months of me walking into the gym, I would start passing everyone, and until I got to the last one, and then eventually I beat him. But while I was training and having fun, I was starting to get bigger. I didn't even know. I wasn't trying to get big. I wasn't eating any more food. I just got bigger. Genetically, I was just blowing up. So anyway, just for my mummy's food, Caribbean food. So no special diets, nothing. And one of the guys in the gym said to me, "Why don't you enter a show?" I said, "What's that?" He said, "A bodybuilding show." He said, "You're ripped. You can do it." I said, "Well, how do I do that?" So he said, "Well, get some trunks and rub some oil on your body and you can go and enter a show." So I remember, saying, "Okay, I'll do it. I'm going to go and do this thing."
Yeah.
I didn't know what I was doing, but I'm going to give it a try. So I went and bought some trunks. Probably got the wrong size, more or less underpants. I went and got some baby oil. You don't use baby oil, but that's what I thought you had to use. And I shaved I wasn't never hairy, but I shaved a little bit of hair off my chest and my arms and rubbed the oil on my chest. And we went on on stage, and I did it was Northeast Derbyshire.
What can I just ask? What year was it that you first went to your first show?
I think we're going back to like the early 90s.
Okay.
So I was like,
Yeah.
very young,
Very.
maybe teenish.
Okay.
No, just as I finished boxing, maybe 20.
Yeah.
So yeah, so we were looking around. It's a 93 or something like that. I was doing my first show. So as I said, I went on stage. I didn't know what I was doing. I didn't know how to pose, but I went up there and posed. There was a handful of guys competing in the Northeast Derbyshire. It was a big natural bodybuilding show.
Yeah.
So it was a tested show. You wasn't allowed to take anabolic steroids or anything like that. So I decided to go on, enter the show, and lo and behold, I won the show. I won the show.
Impressive.
I won the show, but this is not. But the crazy thing is that when I was walking off stage with my trophy,
Yeah.
the head judge, he run behind from his judging position backstage, because I entered the novice class. There was a novice class and there was an open class for the big boys, and he run backstage and he said to me, "Oh, where the hell have you come from?" I said, "Just first show." And I said, "Are you going to enter the misters? The heavyweights?" "No," I said, "I'm not going to enter that." He said, "No, you got a good chance." I said, "I can't enter that. All the big guys, what we see walking around Sheffield, all the really experienced guys, they're all in that show." I said, "I can't beat these guys." He said, "No, you'll have a really good chance." He said, "Put your trophy down, go back on stage, and go and compete with the big guys." I went back on stage and we, compete. I had nothing to lose. I thought I'd step on stage with these big guys. I didn't expect to win at all.
Yeah.
It was just an experience to stand with some of these guys. And the crazy thing about it, they gave me the first call out, I remember. And once again, out of nowhere, they called the top three out and I was in the top three. So I thought maybe I've got third.
Yeah.
So then they called the third out and then it was top two. I thought maybe I got second. And then before I know it, they've called me out. And I was that much in shock. I didn't hear what they said. I didn't know they called my name. It was like, really? Me? Little me?
In complete disbelief.
I've only been training for less than a year. So how the hell can I just enter and beat all these experienced guys? So I won that show. I won the overall. And I didn't diet. I just went on stage. I think I might have stopped eating a bit of sweets, what I used to eat, and drunk a bit of water. I had no idea what I was doing anyway. I won the show.
Do you think that's to do with how you were brought up? So like being the best at all the physical and all the physical sports, dedicating your time into going into boxing.
Because thing is that I already had a physique.
Yeah.
From boxing, from sprinting, I had a reasonably ripped physique. I just wasn't massive, but I did have that physique where, it was there, and I just, by lifting weights, it just walked the body up, and I just started, really blowing up. So yeah, I did have that discipline, but as a novice, I didn't even know what bodybuilding was.
Yeah.
And then from bodybuilding, doing the first show, within 3 years, I'd won the Britain. I went over to Italy. I won the Europeans and then the Worlds, and then, it just started accelerating really, really quick. And I remember being on stage. I must mention this. I was a blown up heavyweight. Maybe 4 years into my bodybuilding career, it happened really quick. And I remember entering a show it was a qualifier for Mr. Britain, and in 1997, I remember this, and I was on stage, and this is, now we're getting serious. We're going up because Northeast Derbyshire is just like independent shows, right?
So would you say that this is one of your most memorable experiences?
Yeah, it was a memorable experience because I'd gone from these little tiny organisations to NABA. NABA is kind of like it's a big organisation.
Yeah.
And I thought, let me go and win this NABA Britain. So I went on stage and did the qualifier, the Northeast and the and the whatever it was, Central Britain. And I remember being on stage, and I remember being on. I remember one guy saying to me, he turned around and looked at me. It was about 10 in the class, and he said, "What the hell are you on? And where the hell have you come from?" Because I think he might have been a favourite to win.
Yeah.
Guy called Ian Chambers. He knows who he is, Ian. and I told him, I said, "Nothing. I don't know what you're talking about." So anyway, he said, "If you're not doing such and such," he said, "you'll be a pro in 3 years." So anyway, I won the show. I went on to win more and more shows. I think that year I did about 15 shows. We don't these days only do one show a year.
Yeah.
I did 15 shows on average per year. I used to compete every weekend for even more sometimes, So once you get in shape, we just carried on competing.
Yeah.
And there was money shows. There was there was so much going on in bodybuilding. It was electric. It was alive, And I think I did 15 shows and won 13. So I maybe got second in a couple of the other ones, but I was always there or thereabouts, in doing shows around them days. So anyway, I teamed up with Ian Chambers and Mark Whitaker, my coach, I'm fast forwarding on, because after winning the Worlds and all these other shows, what I did, there was some amateur shows, there was amateurs. I wanted to be a pro bodybuilder. So what I did, I teamed up with a coach, old school coach, Ian Chambers, John Clark, some of these guys who really helped me with my nutrition, and we teamed up and we trained for the, pro card in 2001. And a lot of guys spend a lifetime, could mention some people, trying to turn professional, but I actually did it in one. In 2001, I went for my pro card and beat the favourites, Lee Powell, into second place and won the overall, and I was crowned the new pro in the UK. So you had to be, them days you only got one pro card a year. Yeah. It's not like these days where you get a pro card, 30 pro cards in one show, and there's a few hundred of pro cards, getting thrown around. Those days you'd get one pro card per year. If you didn't win it, and you had to be the overall, and if you didn't win that pro card, you had to wait till the next year.
And is that nationally or is that international?
International.
Okay.
So you've got to be the number one guy in your country to get the pro card.
Okay.
So that's when I got crowned the champion.
Is that when you came across the best IFBB? IFBB
pros? Yeah, because obviously at that time there was, when I turned pro, I was looking at Sean Ray and Flex Wheeler and all these top guys. Now these are the top. Now I've got to go and compete against them.
Okay.
So there's nowhere to hide. Now you're in the big league. I can't go back to NABA. I can't go back to the local shows. You're gonna go and compete with these guys, and
And was getting that pro card, did that have the biggest impact on your career and life till today?
I would say in bodybuilding, definitely it had the biggest impact on my bodybuilding career. But, and if you'd have asked me that question when I was younger, I would have said definitely that's the biggest thing I've ever done in my life. But the biggest and better thing, there's one more.
What is that?
My 4 children.
Wow.
My 4 children.
I love that.
Is that's my biggest accomplishment. To have my 4 children, my oldest one, who's 27 this year, to my little boy, who's 6, and then I've got another boy at 11, and then the teenager what I've got who's 15. She's a girl, and they are, I always call that trumps everything.
Oh, impressive. I was gonna say, lastly, what's next for you in your journey? So I know that now that you're a family man, you've got Olympia Gym based in Sheffield. What's your goals and aspirations?
I'm going to bring it back a little bit, because in life we have roller coasters, and You know, I've had a lot of ups and I've had a lot of downs as well. I've been in the gutter, you know, and some of the people who really know me know about certain situations which I've been in. You know, when I was in the gutter on one particular situation, you know, I'm a Christian man. I
Yeah.
believe in Orthodox Christian, you know, and I believe in the Most High. I believe in, you know, we've got to do the right thing and always put the Most High first. But, you know, as I said, when I was in a situation in the gutter, not all the friends, fake friends had deserted me. There was nobody around, just my family, you know, and a couple of good friends. You know, I looked around the situation where I was and I realized that there's a lot of young people out there and they was in the same situation as me. And one day when I was praying to them, please get me out of this situation. But at the same time, I looked and said, you know, I'd love to help some of these young people from getting involved in, you know, thing what I was involved in. And I said, when I'm out of this thing, I'm going to set a charity up. And I'll tell you when it was about 2008, 2009. You know, I was, you know, I even said to God, I said, I'm going to set up this charity and I'm going to do this thing. So you can't mug God off.
Nah, you
You're not
can't.
going to
You
mug God
can't.
off, you know. And once, as I said, the roller coaster, I was on the upside. You know, I had the opportunity to set a charity up, you know, and open my own gym and start my own businesses up again. You know, I did that. I set my charity up, which is called the Olympia Wellbeing Academy, and it's a charity which focuses on helping young people. You know, we try to reduce antisocial behaviour, knife crime, and help mentor people through health and fitness, and education, you know, employment, you know, and now we're trying to help them get into, you know, set their own businesses up, trying to turn us like a, you know, an idea into a business. Because
Yeah.
some of these young people are very clever, and I think that, you know, it's they just need the opportunity and they just need somebody who believes in them. And with our charity and the team we have, you know, I think we can really make a difference. And we've been doing this now for the last few years, and it's been going really, really well. You know, obviously you know, we got the gym, the Olympia Fitness. It's more than just a gym. You know, like there's gyms around here, but they're soulless.
Yeah.
They're soulless. It's like going into a graveyard. You know, I've worked in some of these gyms where, you know, you're just a personal trainer, and what they are is just they're not. No one's ever going to help you. No one's going to never help you. You're going to walk in there, and you're going to be there for a year, maybe 2 years, and you're going to stay the same. No one's physically going to say, right, you're doing that wrong. You know, this is what you should do with your nutrition. You're never ever going to get that from anybody.
Do you reckon that's to do with the personalities in the gym, or based on the knowledge that's passed around in gyms? Like, there's just a lack of knowledge passed around.
It's a lack of knowledge, definitely a lack of knowledge, because I grew up in old school gyms. You know, like I went to some hardcore, rusty spit and sawdust gyms
Yeah.
through my bodybuilding career, and that got me to compete against the giants in the world with, you know, my all-time hero, which was in bodybuilding, Ronnie Coleman. I mean, to step on stage with Ronnie Coleman, Jay Cutler, Kai Green, Branch Warren. I've got some stories to tell you, like when I remember Ronnie walked up to me and said, "Who the hell are you? You look like me." And I said to him, "No, no, you look like me," you know. And then stripping off, I was in Philadelphia competing and doing a qualification for Olympia. And I remember, you know, Branch Warren walking up to me and saying, "You're a freak. I've never seen anything. Where the hell did you come from?" So that was kind of like the vibe. And Branch,
Yeah.
you know what he said. And Milas Sarchas, he wanted to take me under his wing. He's the number one. He was one of the number one trainers at the time. You know, they was all jumping on me, and you know, because I was kind of like making a big mark in bodybuilding for the UK.
Yeah.
Because obviously we had Dorian. Nobody's ever going to touch Dorian. He's been the best bodybuilder ever in, what's ever come out of the UK. But also my good brethren, Ernie Taylor, E.T., in fact, if you ever speak to Ernie Taylor, because he even said this to me now we retired,
Yeah.
he used to always say, God, I don't want to compete against Trevor. Because if Trevor turns up in shape, he's going to be a problem. Because everyone knows that I was the problem because of the thickness and the muscle bellies and the tiny joints what I had. They knew that I was going to be a problem, and just as I was making the mark in bodybuilding, it all got taken away. I ended up in the gutter, as I'm going to call it. And the reason why I'm saying the gutter, because I need to protect my family, and I'm not going to get them. I don't want to say too much. So, I was in the gutter and, it all got taken away. That's all I can really say on that thing at the moment. But, but moving forward, yeah, we're just going to carry on helping the young people, try to focus on the business, the fitness side of things. We've turned this into more of a transformation center where after being in the gym for 35 years, I can get anybody in shape. With the team I've got, I can help almost anyone, whether you're overweight lady, whether you're a man who just wants to get in shape or get fit, or you want a six pack for your holiday. I can do it. We can do that because we've done it for so long. We've helped thousands of people. And that's my passion now, is to press and help people get in shape. That's what I'm really interested in.
Guaranteed. No, we appreciate it.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, so, it's just that all we're doing today, as I said, it was just a quick 4 or 5 questions, just to find out a little bit about this man who's running the Brutally Honest podcast. So, Zach, I appreciate you jumping in and asking me 4 or 5 questions the public have put to me, and a couple of guys in the gym, handful of people in the gym. So we really appreciate your help today.
Thank you for granting me this opportunity, Trev.
No, excellent. And you're the professional. Hopefully you can take over from me. I need to retire. So no, definitely. And please, people out there, like and subscribe to Brutally Honest, the brand new podcast, brand new exciting podcast, which is mashing up the dance and doing big things. And we have got some really, really exciting guests coming. So stay tuned. Don't forget to like and subscribe.
And comment if you got any questions, yeah?
Definitely comment. Mr. T out.